here's the greatest benefit you're gonna get if you take my advice on what I said in this video. Here's what you're gonna get. Eventually, everybody say eventually, you're gonna get good at YouTube. One of the reasons, if you have a YouTube channel and it's not doing well right now, one of the reasons is because you don't have an intention. You have not set an intention, which is interesting because that matches up with Genesis chapter 1, because intention is the beginning, is the genesis of creation, right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Why? Because he intended to, right? And then disruption follows intention, right? And so when you decide to start your YouTube channel, don't think you're gonna have 700,000 subscribers the next day, because it's not gonna happen. Disruption is gonna follow your intention. The first intention that most YouTube channels are lacking, they lack an intention to show up consistently. So I decided when I started my YouTube channel, I am going to show up on YouTube once a week for the next 10 years. And I'm gonna show up at the same time, on the same day, once a week for the next 10 years. Now, what that's gonna yield me, I don't know. But I also set my intention to serve. Here's what I mean. The content that I'm putting on YouTube, I'm not putting it on YouTube for me. In other words, I'm not putting it on YouTube so that I can get viewers, subscribers, and money from YouTube. I put my content on YouTube to serve the people who are gonna watch it. Because I only worked on a farm one day in my life, but I learned the law of the farm. And the law of the farm is this, it's in the Bible too. You reap what you sow. But the law of the farm doesn't just state you reap what you sow. It also states that you reap more than you sow. Because you sow a seed, you reap a tree. But it also, the law of the farm also states that you reap later than you sow. And see, some people are unwilling to sow because they are unwilling to wait until later to reap. But what they don't realize, if you never reap, you never sow. And I'd rather reap later than never. And so I'm just gonna show up to serve because I can't out-sow the farm. And I'm gonna sow and sow and sow and sow. And when I say sow, I don't mean like I take a needle and sew my socks. I mean sow a seed of service that benefits somebody other than me. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. If you're doing something worthwhile, most of the time, the last person you should be thinking of is yourself. That doesn't mean don't think of yourself. That just means don't think of yourself first. And I am telling you, I want to make sure that if I put a video on YouTube, it doesn't waste 1 minute of any watcher's time. So I'm not making my content long enough to get paid so I can get paid. I'm making it long enough for them to gather enough information to have a transformation. Because if they have a transformation, they'll come back and watch another video. So if I show up for them, they'll show up for me. I have put hundreds of thousands of dollars into renovations and equipment into this studio. I didn't do that because I wanted more YouTube views. I didn't do that because I wanted more subscribers. I didn't do that because I wanted to get more money from YouTube. I did that because my desire was to serve the people I serve at the highest possible level. And to give them video that the content is good, but the quality of the video matches the content. So have your intention to show up consistently. Set your intention that when you show up consistently, you're gonna serve, and you're gonna show up to solve other people's problems. Now, when you solve other people's problems, now you have to figure out what type of YouTube channel you're gonna start. And here's what I discovered. There are basically 2 categories of YouTube channels. There are entertainment channels, and there are education channels, okay? Entertainment channels get more views than education channels. Why? Because the majority of people in the world hyper focus on distraction and ignore intention, which is why most people fail. The small minority of people who succeed at anything in life, they hyper focus on intention and ignore distraction. And that's why they succeed. When I say the majority of people in the world hyper focus on distraction, I'm talking about anything you focus on that does not move the needle in your favor. So if you're focused on anything that doesn't move the needle in your favor, you are going to keep failing because you're hyper focused on distractions. So entertainment channels get more views, but the views are worth less. They're not worthless, they're just worth less than the other type of channel. The other type of channel is an educational channel. Educational channels don't get as many views as entertainment channels, but education channels get higher quality views. Now, here's what's cool. Entertainment channels, I've seen them do talk about how much money they make, right? Entertainment channels think they're doing well if they get $7 to $10 CPM and $3 to $5 RPM. But if you have an educational channel, that's nothing. I've had my CPM on my channel be as high as $85. And it averages around 40. Okay, my average CPM on live videos and long form recorded is about $40, which means my average RPM fluctuates between about $17 and $25. So we'll just call it $20 per 1,000 views. And 1 million subscribers, if you have 1 million subscribers on an educational channel that gets significant views, you should make somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 a month. Just wanted to make sure you understood that. Now, I'm going to end with this. I'm going to give you all some of our stats, because there's a website called that you can look up and do research on how much money people's YouTube channels make. It's about 25% correct. In other words, I make about 4 times as much as they say I make on that website. I don't even remember the name of the site. I looked it up the other day and I can't remember the name of it. Social Blade. Socialblade.com. You can it'll tell you how much money everybody's YouTube channels make. I looked at mine, I'm like, I make way more than that. Okay. So in the last 28 days, we got 2.9 million views in the last 28 days. We got 471,000 watch time hours in the last 28 days. We gained 50,600 subscribers in the last 28 days. We made $50,000 in the last 28 days from YouTube monetization. Why am I telling you that? Because how many of you have a YouTube channel? Okay, if your YouTube channel is not successful, whatever that means to you, how many of you have not become intentional about showing up yet? Consistently, same time, same day, right? That's the thing. How many? So just pick that one thing to do and show up with an 8-minute video once a week or once a month at the same time on the same day, and just decide you're going to do it. Not to get the views, not to make the money, not to get the subscribers. But here's the greatest benefit you're going to get if you take my advice on what I said in this video. Here's what you're going to get. Eventually, everybody say eventually, you're going to get good at YouTube.